Chuck, thanks very much. Good morning, everyone. 7:35 report always brought to you by Luther Ford of Homer City. And we have a special report here for you. We'll get to the Pirates and to our local games that we had for you last night in a moment. But as I mentioned before, we have Hall of Fame coach Frank Cignetti on the line with us right now as we remember George Chaump. Coach, good morning to you. Good to have you along here today.
Well, good morning, Jack. Happy to be with you.
Yeah, you know, it's happy, but it's sad. It wasn't too long ago. I had Coach Sledzik on here. We talked about Carl Davis, and now, unfortunately, we're going to talk about George Chaump. And of course, he was some kind of a guy and some kind of a coach. Frank, when you brought him as you were the AD, you became the AD in 1982. Was George your first choice for head coach when you came in? What was your thought process there?
Well, Jack, let me say first that Marlene and I were very saddened to hear of George's passing. He was a great person, great family man, loved those twins, his wife, and we're just sorry for the family, and our prayers are with them.
You bet.
Getting back to 1982 in that situation, Jack, you know, when I came here, I came with the intention to be both the athletic director and head football coach. And Owen was very responsible for my interest in the job. He had called me, and I told him that I was interested in coaching, and I felt Owen would hang on maybe 1-2 years till I was able to get in and get situated in the athletic director's position. But it's about the middle of summer, he made a decision that he wanted to give up the position, and the president agreed to it. So we conducted a quick search, narrowed it down to 3 people. Chuck Clausing, who had been a Carnegie Mellon ex-IUP coach, Joe Nonchek, who was an assistant coach with Jackie Sherrill at Pitt, and George Chaump. George had been with Tampa Bay, was released with some other coaches at the time, had a year left on his contract, and was looking to get back into coaching. So the 3 of them met with the committee, and it was pretty unanimous choice that George would be our man.
He was a coach with a great offensive mind, so much so, and you and I have talked about this before, that he actually made Woody Hayes rethink his offense back in 1968 with Ohio State, didn't he?
Yes. You know, George had an outstanding career at Harrisburg High School. And he had a great quarterback there by the name of Jimmy Jones, who I think in the recruiting, I was at Pitt at the time, and it came down to Southern Cal and Ohio State, and he elected to go to Southern Cal. But George was an I-formation guy, believed in running the football, great play-action passing game, put pressure on the perimeter and so forth. And that's the information that I have. I know I visited there, I think it was, when I was first went to West Virginia, I believe I went over to spring practice and visited Ohio State. And George was very, very instrumental in the offensive success they had at Ohio State. Did a great job for us here at IUP. Believe me, come in there late summer, worked hard, put a good staff together, got the program on the right track, ended up with a very, very good team in this 4th year here with Rich Ingle at quarterback, a senior-dominated team, got us into the playoffs against Bloomsburg.
Well,
you know, he left a mark on IUP, and he got us started in the right direction.
Yeah, those were the teams, that 84 and 85 team that where you said that really started to propel IUP to what is now the tradition that it is. And Coach Frank Cignetti with us here. No matter what offense you run, you have to have a great quarterback. How was it that you guys managed to get the guy they called Stitch, Rich Ingold, in here from South Carolina?
No, that's an interesting story. You know, Richard left South Carolina and went to West Virginia. And my son at the time was, I think, a sophomore there. It was Coach Nealon's first year or second year at West Virginia. And after one practice, Richard said, you know, he says, I've had enough of this down here. He says, I'm going home. So Kirk called me right away and said, Dad, Rich Ingles going to leave West Virginia. Tell Coach Chaump about him. So that was the background on Richard. Richard, you know, we all loved him, Jack, and he was special. He was special as a player and as a coach. And he had great leadership. Team loved him. Coaches all loved him. And did a great job of bringing the program back as a player and as a coach.
Mm-hmm. Well, you guys picked the right guy. That's for sure. I'll tell you, I can never get out of my mind all the games I've done. That Lehigh game, we may not have won it, but wow, what a performance that was.
Wasn't that a special performance? I mean, that was
unreal.
Unbelievable that day.
Frank, it's so wonderful to talk with you. We've lost some really good people here as of late, and this is what happened. But George Chaump, a career, unbelievable, 6 decades, from high school to college to NFL to high school. That's just unbelievable.
I'll tell you what, he had a great career, an outstanding career. Had a difficult time at Navy, and that was a very, very tough job at the time. But George was an excellent coach, had a great career, probably more important, an outstanding family man and great character.
Well, I can't say it any better than that. Thank you, Coach. Always great to talk with you. Take care. We'll see you soon, okay?
Very good, Jack. Great to be with you.
You bet. Hall of Fame coach, college football Hall of Fame coach, Frank Cignetti, as we remember George Chaump. We're just going to give you some scores when we come back of the games from yesterday after we take a timeout for Luther Ford of Homer City.